But if you can't handle a world where we respect women and appreciate the idea that they are the only people that can have children, have no fear, everybody. Certain corporations are offering you an alternative. Have you ever just wanted to fast forward through an entire day? Like an Adam Sandler movie with a universal remote control? Just click a button and completely skip an entire day without any recollection of it occurring? Well, companies like DoorDash, Levi's, Ancestry, Bye Bye Baby, and more are now saying that you can. Yes, they are saying that you can skip through entire days. In an email I received from DoorDash within the last month, a note about Mother's Day. They said, "We understand that Mother's Day may be a difficult time for some. Click the button below if you'd prefer to be removed from additional emails and push notifications this year." Yeah, click that button if you want to be removed from push notifications about Mother's Day. So now you can just opt out of Mother's Day if you don't like it. In an article from the Daily Wire, opt out of Mother's Day, a new corporate trend, reeks of anti family activism, critics say. So there's been a lot of companies like what I just listed that are now pushing this opt out of Mother's Day campaign. With Mother's Day coming up, we understand this can be a difficult time of year for some. Read similar emails from Nespresso. If you would like to opt out of Mother's Day, you can simply click below. Levi's, Ancestry, MAC Cosmetics, Stitch Fix, Bye Bye Baby, Etsy, and Cartier were some of the other companies included. The thing is about all this is there's two questions to answer. Is why are they doing all this? And why all at once? Well, I want to start off with why all of these companies are coming out with it all at once. It's because this is just how woke virtue signaling goes. Once one company changes their logo to rainbow for the month of June, everyone has to do it. Once one company puts a black square on their Instagram, everyone has to. Not because it's right or because it's a well thought out marketing strategy, but because it's fashionable. It's fashionable, and they also don't want to get canceled by the woke mob. It's the same reason Bud Light brought on Dylan Mulvaney. And look how well that's working for them. They're trying to. Why are they doing this, though? Let's get on to that. Why are they doing this? Now, some people could have the perception that it has something to do with erasing motherhood or the traditional family as a whole. And I do think the left tries to do that. But in this case, I don't necessarily think that's what it is. Doesn't mean it's not of some kind of woke virtue signaling, though. This action doesn't really fit the narrative of trying to erase traditional family or anything like that, because they're still offering emails and such and promotions regarding Mother's Day. But some claim, including these companies, that it's to help those who don't have present mothers, who didn't have present mothers, or they had mothers that passed away. That's what these companies are claiming. Which I genuinely believe that's why they're doing this, but it has woke repercussions. To say that is actually to have that kind of a promotion saying that we are going to let you just opt out because you might have gone through something hard is incredibly unhealthy. It's incredibly unhealthy to tune out Mother's Day because you're grieving. What's a better time to celebrate all that you might have accomplished despite not having a mother in your life, or all that your mom that was there that passed away had done for you and everything that she was able to do for you while she was alive? Telling the rest of the world to get out of your way or to just hit pause or to skip an entire day and not be bothered because you're going through a personal struggle isn't really how the world works. But the left is pushing this agenda that we should all be in a safe space at all times, but only a safe space within their own agenda. I want to be clear. Why can't I opt out of identity months? I've complained about cultural appropriation on this show before. Why can't I opt out of why is it that I can't opt out of being bombarded with woke logos when during the month of June, like I said earlier, during the month of June, we have all these different companies' logos that put the rainbow on it. Why can't I opt out of that? Why can't I opt out of the black squares that we see everywhere, or all the pandering to the black community during Black History Month in February? Why can't I opt out of all that? Because under their agenda, that can't be triggering for anybody. That's not. but they'll still allow you to opt out of Mother's Day, likely Father's Day. But the thing is when it comes to Father's Day, people are already personally opting out of Father's Day. Even companies kind of ignore Father's Day because they want to promote fatherlessness. But the point of all this is wokeness is trying to tell us that we have a right to fragility. That you have a right to a safety from any kind of hurt. And want to know why I'm part of the most depressed and medicated generation? It's because society tells us that we can just opt out of hardship. Resilience is made through learning to cope with this hardship, learning to deal with your problems. Because learning to deal with your problems is harder, but a lot more beneficial than opting out of them. We all need to live in the real world, but unfortunately, we have a society that tries to allow us to opt out of this reality. And that's the whole point of these opt out campaigns, is because you should just be able to live in your safe space and not have to be triggered by anything as long as you live within the woke agenda. Opt out of Christmas, opt out of Mother's Day, opt out of Thanksgiving because it might trigger you about the distorted history regarding natives and pilgrims. It might trigger you. Everybody, later in this show, I'm also going to break down my interaction with some protesters at the Ron DeSantis event. But I wanted to start off with just talking about Mother's Day. Everybody, make sure you go out there and thank your mom, if you can. If you can. And if your mother has passed on, say a prayer. And I'm saying a prayer for them too. But celebrate the idea of what your mother was able to do.